If you've ever sat down to watch King Kong, you've probably thought there's no way anyone could be that big. But there is plenty of evidence suggesting that giants did in fact roam the earth thousands of years ago. From gigantic fossil footprints to massive skeletons that were discovered by modern-day archaeologists, here are 5 giants from ancient Earth that may make you question everything you know about human history. The first giant we have to look at is one that scientists have been debating for years. A few years back, some pictures emerged online claiming to show the bones of a giant human relative. The problem was these bones had absolutely no context. According to Live Science, the person who took these photos claimed to have found them in a cave in the Philippines. However, he refused to say exactly where or when this happened. He also didn't want to let any experts examine the bones for themselves. Because of this, the scientific community was extremely skeptical. Many people believed these bones were simply a hoax. Even so, some scientists were willing to take a chance. One anthropologist in particular examined the photos closely and came to a shocking conclusion. The bones appeared to belong to a previously unknown species. This individual would have stood around 6'9", making them a contender for one of the tallest humans or human-like creatures to ever live. Unfortunately, without the physical bones, we can't say for sure what this mysterious creature was. Maybe it was an unknown primate. Maybe it was a hoax. Who knows? What we do know is that if this creature did exist, it would have lived in the Philippines around 50,000 years ago. Next, let's look at the fossils left behind by another potential giant. In 2015, a group of researchers in China published a paper which sent shockwaves through the scientific community. They had discovered several fossils of a previously unknown species. What made this discovery so exciting was that this new species seemed to be related to humans. It belonged to the genus Homo, and according to the researchers, this particular species would have stood anywhere between 5'6" and 6'3". What makes this potential giant particularly interesting is the time period during which they lived. They lived around the same time as Homo sapiens, yet somehow we have zero evidence of them. It is possible that they went extinct before modern humans showed up in China, or that they interbred with our species so much that they basically became Homo sapiens. Moving on, let's look at some giants that we have physical evidence for. These are the footprints left behind by a mysterious figure 10,000 years ago. They were discovered in the Emencul Desierto in northern Chile. What makes these footprints so fascinating is just how large they are. The prints measure 18 inches long by 5 inches wide. According to the Smithsonian, whoever these footprints belonged to would have stood around 8'3". That's nearly 9 feet tall. The crazy thing is that these footprints aren't the only ones of their kind. There are dozens of gigantic footprints scattered across North and South America. Some of these footprints have been recreated in museums. However, many remain buried or hidden in remote areas. As you might expect, mainstream archaeologists haven't really come up with a good explanation for these giant footprints. Most of them are far too big to belong to any known animal from the Ice Age. The most popular theory among archaeologists is that these footprints are nothing more than a hoax. But this doesn't explain why someone would go to such great lengths to fool scientists. And now let's look at a skeleton that was discovered in Siberia. Back in 1899, a Russian geographer named Dmitry Anakin uncovered a mysterious skeleton in Siberia. This skeleton belonged to a man who was nearly 8 feet tall. It's not just this man either. Between 1915 and 1924, several more giant skeletons were unearthed in Siberia. Some of these skeletons belonged to men who were 9 feet tall. All these skeletons appeared to be of a similar build. They had extremely long limbs and gigantic feet. To this day, no one knows what these giant Siberian skeletons could possibly be. Some believe they were members of a forgotten tribe of giants. Others say they were distorted humans who suffered from gigantism. Finally, let's look at the giants of the Gobi Desert. Back in the 1920s, a team of archaeologists in China were excavating a Neolithic site in the Gobi Desert. While excavating this site, they uncovered a collection of extremely old human bones. These bones belong to a race of people who are up to 6'6". Like the other giants we've covered today, these mysterious giants date back thousands of years. However, we have very little information about them. According to some reports, their skulls were unusually shaped and didn't resemble modern humans. Some experts even claim that these people weren't even human at all, but rather a humanoid species. Now it's time to hear from you. Do you think giants really did roam the earth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And remember to stay tuned for more videos about amazing discoveries from ancient civilizations. Thanks for watching.